We're no longer following God that is pro-war. And we're no longer following God that wants us to make worldly empires. The powers and principalities, St. Paul tells us, are where the powers of all worldly governments come from. That's not the government we want to be as church. Go ahead.
Actually, in the New Testament, Satan owns the world's powers, pretty much. And
Okay.
Jesus denied it. He wanted, the scene where they're together, they're alone. It's just Jesus and Satan.
Mm-hmm.
And Satan wants to give them all the world's kingdoms.
The temptations. Yeah.
All of the kingdoms of the earth.
That is called a temptation. They said to
China,
Jesus,
Jesus,
we can give you all the worldly powers to bring your church and keep it going. Well,
yeah.
Jesus denied taking that, but I'm telling you, Christianity has embraced powers and principalities, and they live by it. The history of the Christian church, come on, guys. So, but I think the text is clear. Yeah. The text also says that you're supposed to feed the hungry. Welcome the strangers. How do you feel about welcoming the stranger in Iowa when they're going after immigrants? Oh God, that's so terrible. Ugly. Ugly. This is a community supposed to welcome the stranger, and we're picking them up and sending them back to terrible places that our country had a lot to do with making terrible places. I mean, it's really obscene, tragically obscene. Yeah.
I made mention earlier of the activism of Catholic worker communities. I have 3 friends that are soon setting off to go to Palestine. So I imagine you know what's been going on there, ongoing genocide. And I worry about them a little bit because I think it's a very dangerous thing to be doing right now. But, and once again, I think there are open spaces at the Catholic Worker here. And would encourage people to go and spend some time there again.
Yeah.
You don't need to be Catholic.
Oh no.
You don't need to be, just be who you are.
It's a big joke in the movement, most of us aren't Catholics, and hardly any of us work. So the Catholic Worker movement. Go ahead.
What are your thoughts on the old Catholic Church?
Which one?
The old belief of the old Catholic Church, what they did, because I don't think they've changed in time.
Oh, when they say pre-Vatican, post-Vatican, all that stuff? Yeah, well, the thing about Dorothy Day, again, is she was part of a movement that was in the midst of the old church. I mean, she started the movement from a 1930s Catholic perspective, which is encouraging to me. I'm not a 1930s Catholic. I'm a post-Second Vatican Catholic. That's a different Catholic. Church is changing all the time. Catholicism is changing all the time. The problem I see with it is that we're wedded to the state. We're wedded to wealth, and we don't speak out against empire. And the reason we don't stand out like a sore thumb is because every denomination is wedded to wealth, committed to winning at wars, and are supportive of the American empire. You can't follow Jesus and do that. Yes.
Have you ever been to the Vatican City?
No.
No.
Say it again?
Vatican. You want to know if I went to the Vatican? No. No.
Now, I stepped out, but have you commented on the new Pope?
The new Pope. I'm kind of excited about him because of all the American cardinals, they said he was the least American. This is a guy who after he went to high school, college, seminary, he went to Peru?
Yes.
And became a missionary, and then climbed up the hierarchy in that world and became a bishop. And when he became a bishop of Peru, he immigrated to Peru. He gave up his citizenship.
He did not.
To be a Peru, well, he didn't give it up, but he embraced a second citizenship. And he just reinforced that citizenship just recently. So what I'm excited about the guy is, he's an American who's a pope that realizes America's the problem. Hey, maybe we can get some real insight from this guy. Yeah.
Wasn't there some like quote unquote prophecy? Now I don't believe in superstition, but for those who do,
That this will be the last pope. This number.
I thought the last one was.
Yeah, that it's so. Which,
This one-
according to the prophecy, the world's supposed to come to an end during this pope, because the last one was supposed to be the last fully serving pope. So humanity's supposed to end during this pope.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Maybe just the major Christian church.
Well, I don't really buy any of that. But I do know there's a lot of paranoia in the New Testament. A lot of fear going on about the world ending. I mean, it's a lot about catalytic, terrible, end time stuff. It's all there. And in our own modern way, I think I don't need superstition. Science is telling me about what we're doing. That's what when I explain global agriculture, that's not superstition, folks. That's science. Go ahead.
The thing is, the testament about Armageddon isn't even in the New Testament. It's a complete other thing that was used.
What did you, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
The thing that says about the apocalypse isn't even part of any of the Bible or the New Testament. It's a thing all on its own that was used.
Revelation.
I misunderstood.
Revelation, that's right.
I thought you were referring
The
to.
book of Revelation is in the Bible.
And I mean, so is Acts 12, where God sends an angel to strike somebody down, is in the New Testament. So God does kill people that don't do what he says. But, you know, New
Hold
Testament,
on.
Old Testament.
Hold on, that's a very good thing. This is in Acts. This is at the beginning of the church. And the way the church starts is that they go and witness in the temple and take the same risk Jesus did, and then they start a commune. The first day there were 3,000 people, then 5,000 people. Everybody gave from what they had, put it in a common purse, and then everybody ate. This is the model of being church. And then the story talks about these rich people who, a husband and wife, who said, we'll give everything, and then just gave some. And then the story, they get exposed and right in the front of the community, like, well, apparently you really didn't give what you said you gave, George. And then George says, that's right. And then God strikes him dead right there. Boom.
Yeah,
And then the
17,
wife comes
20.
in. The wife comes in and she says, what's going on? And she says, well, I knew nothing about it. And boom, something like that. Look, that story shows, yeah, that is the only place in the New Testament seems that God actively killed someone who lied in front of the community. The question you need to know is, the community didn't kill that person. That wasn't killed by, those people died by some act of God. It was not repeated in the New Testament. There was given no information that that was the dominant way God was acting. And certainly in the book of Acts, God showed a lot more love than this one particular problem. Which I always find it very interesting that the first problem that the church, parishes, and community had was rich people lying about what they gave. Simply saying, there's a clear bias against people who hold on to wealth in our New Testament, to the point where these people were struck dead, but not by any church, not by any human being, not by any intentional, we've come to see you guilty of a crime. That didn't happen. I'm just saying, that don't happen in the New Testament. I like that part, yeah. What do you think? Yeah, what do you think?
I
Does it
didn't
make
have
any
anything
sense?
to say.
Does it make any sense to you?
I'd say so.
I really would Carmen's right about it. The best thing I can ask you to do is not anything I say here, but if you could take a chance to come and, anybody you guys live in Des Moines, come and just visit the place, see what we do. I think it's what we do at the worker house is really unique when it comes to serving people. We got Bethel Mission right there. You guys know where Bethel Mission is on 6th Avenue. It's big. It's good. And they do good work. Their whole idea is to bring Jesus to people and work with alcoholics and people who are on, I mean, big stuff. They got a couple hundred people. They're right a half a block away from us. What we do is we're not trying to bring Jesus to anybody. That's a whole different way. We go to a different text that says, whatever you do to the least, you do to Christ. So we don't have an obligation to bring Jesus to our guests. We put on a different focus from the text and say, when you come in our door, you're Christ for us. We're serving you. So we treat people as we would treat Jesus when he came in. Now, having said that, I will tell you that I have kicked Jesus out of our house. It's true. Comes in drunk, off their meds, violent. We had to ask them to leave. The text says, the least, whoever is the least in your midst is the most like Christ. And when someone comes in disruptive and crazy and angry and we have to say, sorry, we can't offer you space, you're driving us nuts. I intentionally, very willfully know that I don't have enough love for this person to make this possible. And I try to be mindful that I'm kicking Christ out because of our limitation, not his. It's a whole different way of looking at things. Have any of you guys worked at a soup kitchen or done anything like that? I don't really recommend it. Just expose yourself to it. Yeah.
So, is your guys' property is taxed? I thought it wasn't taxed. Is that?
It's private homes we're taxed.
Oh, okay. Well, is that churches that aren't taxed then?
Churches are nonprofit, but we don't take that. We're not.
Okay.
Yeah. We pay property tax. I will say though, the main house that we have, Dingman House, the zoning guy who worked for the city was our cookie guy too. He's since retired. But when he found out that we were being taxed at the house, we were serving people. So you don't need to do that. So he went to, he got a special dispensation for the house that we serve, and we don't pay any property taxes because the city says you're doing enough services that you don't need it. That was gracious on that. We're not. I'm just saying that was on their own. That's a special thing.
Yeah.
But of course he was making cookies for us, so it was nice. Yeah, you got to get to know us to really love us. Yes. Okay.
One thing that's meaningful for you, our community goes to several of us, few of us, 5 of us, go to mass at the cathedral, and then come out and line up in front of the cathedral to protest against what the church is doing. This in particular has to do with Gaza, Palestine. The churches we've had has been strikingly pro-Israel. So, just another sort of activism that comes out of the Catholic Worker. Dorothy Day was not always satisfied with the churches. By the way, how old are most of you?
Say in their 20s, that's my guess.
Yeah? Okay.
35.
Ooh, the elder.
No, there's one guy, he's not here today. He's got me beat. I think he said he was 36 or 37.
Okay.
He said he's 32. Is it Joseph you're talking about? The guy that sits next to me?
Maybe? I thought you said he was older than I was.
Nah, he's 32. Doesn't matter.
Another guy in their 30s.
Yeah, how many of you are religious? Only two?
Yes,
Wow, okay.
everybody.
What tradition and congregation do you guys belong to?
They went to a Lutheran church.
Same.
Lutherans.
I go, yeah.
Yeah. You know better than us Catholics, that's all I can tell you.
I had my fair share of organized religion when I walked in with a tattoo and got told I was going to hell by the preacher. So I walked out.
Oh boy.
Well, that guy has an interesting measuring stick.
I was defacing the temple and I told him to look at the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel before I walked out. I'm repainting, I didn't like the color.
Unlimited understanding of the text.
Well, you've got 13 more minutes. Well, we've got 13 more minutes, I should say.
So it's in downtown Des Moines?
Yeah. 6th Avenue, you don't know anything about Des Moines?
No, I'm not from here.
It's the near north side. Yeah, it's very, yeah.
I don't go as much as Frank would like, or as my grandmother would like, but you'll see some things there.
What's this about
Oh, that's a video that a guy made. I'm talking about the Armed Drone Command Center in Des Moines.
They have one of those in Des Moines?
Yeah, most people don't know it. Until recently, we were vigiling out there on a weekly basis, but I'm too old, and it's hard to keep doing it. I can't find anybody in the city who wants to go out there, and it's a war crime site, 24 hours going on all the time. It's been going on since 2000, I don't know when they started the thing, 2008 or 9, something like that. The Drone Command Center. Yeah, its mission is to, you know, go out and look for the bad guy. When you find the bad guy, tell the bosses we got him. Then the bosses tell you whether you get to do the killing or someone else gets to do the killing, and then you hang around to assess the damage. Every one of those things is a war crime. There's no due process. We got the bad guy, we shoot him. Well, that's due process? Really? That's really scary. The bad guy's with his family. We don't fucking care. Who are we? What do we think's going on? It's just, we are obscene human beings. And Israel is playing out that obscenity in Gaza, because it's all backed by the US. Yeah. Crazy.
So Frank, what was your favorite and least favorite thing about prison life?
Well, the favorite stuff was the study, the life, to read, to just get into harmony with doing time and trying to be just trying to live a strong life day to day. I just found a very powerful way to live, because most people go to jail are not happy about being there. It's not that I was happy, but I was happy of why I was in jail. I was there for doing something good. For me, that's how I looked at it, and it's really a different space for everyone else, because most people you meet in jail, they're not feeling good about being there, and they're not happy about why they got caught. So it's a whole different, and I also saw it as a time to develop spiritually, and I tell you, the thing I liked best was the spiritual development and the stuff I had to go through personally. The hardest thing was being separated from people you care and love, and you know, people could die and you'd not be able to go see them and stuff like that. So that was always the hardest thing, being separated by people you love and care about.
Because you were in jail a few days before my grandma's funeral.
I must have got out.
We got